Have you ever found yourself sitting in your favorite armchair, flipping through old photo albums, and wondering where the time has gone? Sometimes it feels like life changed in a blink. One moment you were busy raising a family or working long hours, and now you're looking back, contemplating what comes next. I remember a rainy Sunday afternoon not too long ago when I found myself lost in thought, comparing the energetic spark I felt in my 40s to the quieter pace of life now. It wasn't sadness I felt exactly, but a longing, a yearning to keep that spark alive in my mind and body. And that's when I realized something important. While we can't turn back the clock on our age, we can keep our brains younger than our years. So many seniors worry that the best days are behind them, especially when it comes to mental sharpness. We fear memory lapses, confusion, or the dreaded feeling of simply slowing down. It's a concern that can quietly gnaw away at our confidence. If we leave this fear unaddressed, we risk withdrawing from life. We might shy away from hobbies we love or conversations we used to enjoy. We become more hesitant, worried about losing it or appearing forgetful. The result? A narrower life. Fewer social connections, fewer learning opportunities, and, ironically, a faster decline in our cognitive abilities. But here's the uplifting truth. The brain is a marvel that continues to adapt and grow, no matter your age. And if you know how to give it the right challenges and experiences, it will reward you with greater mental clarity, better memory retention, and sharper focus well into your 80s and beyond. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share 5 surprising activities that can keep your brain younger than your age after 65. Each one offers a fresh perspective that goes beyond the typical do a crossword puzzle advice. You'll hear about real seniors who discovered these little-known methods and experienced life-changing results, whether it was regaining lost confidence, reconnecting with friends and family, or simply feeling excited to get out of bed again. Stay with me until the end, because the final activity is something most people overlook. Yet in my experience working with active seniors, those who defy expectations and continue thriving, this last piece often proves to be the true game changer. I'm not just speaking from guesswork either. Experts who study longevity and senior wellness keep pointing to the value of creative stimulation combined with regular, purposeful practice. Over the years, I've helped hundreds of older adults turn around forgetfulness, reignite curiosity, and find a sense of empowerment that lifts every area of life. And what I'm about to share is rooted in those real-world successes and in the quiet revolutions happening in forward-thinking senior communities everywhere. If you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you go ahead and do so now. Turn on that notification bell because staying informed is the first step in preserving a vibrant mind. If at any point during this video you feel inspired, type a 1 in the comments to let me know this resonates with you. If you feel it's not quite your cup of tea, type a 0 so I can learn how to better serve you. All right, are you ready to explore these 5 activities that just might keep your brain younger than your age? Let's dive in. Let's start with something that flips the script on what many seniors assume about exercise for the mind and body. People often think that if they're not doing the usual mental exercises like Sudoku or crosswords, they're missing out. But here's a bold statement you might not expect. One of the most effective ways to keep your brain youthful is social ballroom dancing. It challenges not only your body, but also your cognitive processes in a way few other activities can match. Most seniors believe dancing is simply about moving your feet in time to music. We picture glitzy shows like Dancing with the Stars, or recall wedding receptions where we stood awkwardly at the edge of the dance floor. But the misconception is that dancing is either too physically demanding or purely recreational. A nice hobby if you like music, but not necessarily a major boon to your brain. The reality, however, is that social ballroom dancing requires split-second decision-making, pattern recognition, social interaction, and a constant awareness of your partner and your surroundings. Each of these elements stimulates different parts of the brain simultaneously. Think of it like a coordinated symphony going on in your head. Rather than passively repeating the same old steps, you're forced to stay alert, adapt to the music, and connect with someone else. That's powerful mental exercise. Take Elaine, for instance. She's 72 and was an accountant for most of her adult life. After her husband passed away, she found herself spending a lot of time alone, feeling more isolated by the day. On a whim, she joined a local community center dance night. At first, she felt clumsy and self-conscious, but the friendly environment encouraged her to keep going, and within a few weeks, she not only learned the basic waltz, but also noticed a dramatic lift in her mood and memory. One night, she realized she could recall the entire sequence of dance steps without hesitation, something that had seemed impossible when she started. She felt her confidence skyrocket. Her posture improved. She began smiling more. And when her children visited, they remarked on how sharp she seemed compared to just a few months prior. Her secret? Engaging both her brain and body in a dance that was as mentally stimulating as it was enjoyable. The actionable advice here is simpler than you might think. Start by researching local community center dance nights or beginner-friendly ballroom classes. Don't worry about being perfect. Focus on learning a few basic steps. If going out feels intimidating, you can even find dance tutorials online to practice in your living room. The key is consistent practice at least once or twice a week, with a focus on connecting with a dance partner if possible. You'll feel an immediate sense of accomplishment, and the social element amplifies the brain-boosting effect. There's something about standing face-to-face with another person, reading their cues, and responding to the music that keeps you present and mentally engaged like few other activities can. The emotional benefit of social dancing is huge. It combats loneliness, injects fun into your life, and rewires your brain to stay alert and flexible. Imagine the thrill of twirling across the dance floor, the music pulsing under your feet, and suddenly realizing you've forgotten to feel old. You're just there in the moment, ageless. That spark can carry over into all areas of your daily life, leaving you more vibrant and mentally awake. Now let's move on to something a bit more counterintuitive. People often say it's never too late to learn a musical instrument, but how many of us actually do it after retirement? Most assume it's too difficult if you didn't start young. That's the big misconception. You have to be a prodigy or have started in your childhood for an instrument to benefit your brain. In reality, picking up a new instrument at 65, 70, or even 80 can revolutionize your cognitive health. The bold statement here is this: learning an instrument later in life can be even more beneficial than if you'd started in your teens. Why? Because as older adults, we have a lifetime of experiences and emotions that we can pour into our musical expression. This emotional richness combined with the mechanical learning of notes, rhythms, and techniques supercharges the brain. You're simultaneously developing fine motor skills and engaging your auditory processing centers in a brand new way. Consider Robert, who at age 77 decided to learn the piano. He'd always loved the sound but believed it was too late. Eventually, he mustered the courage to sign up for a beginner's class offered at a local adult education center. He admits he was skeptical, expecting frustration and slow progress. But something surprising happened. While learning basic scales, he noticed he was more focused in everyday tasks. Paying bills, remembering appointments, even cooking became smoother. According to his instructor, this is no coincidence. When you learn to read music, you're teaching your brain to interpret a new language in real time. You're forging fresh neural pathways that help with overall cognitive function. Robert also found he was sleeping better and feeling more satisfied at the end of each day. The reality is that learning an instrument isn't solely about performance. It's about constant micro-challenges that keep your brain growing. Every time you move from one chord to another or practice a tricky scale, you're pushing your neurons to adapt, strengthening your mental agility. If you'd like to try this, start small. Maybe a keyboard you can practice on with headphones in the comfort of your own home. Even if you only practice 10 minutes a day, keep a journal to track your progress. Write down each new chord you learn or each line of a song you master. The sense of achievement becomes tangible, and that emotional payoff is profound. You'll feel excited to see how much you can improve, and that sense of curiosity fosters a youthful mindset. Before I share the next point, I want to check in with you. If you're still watching and finding value in these insights, drop a 2 in the comments section. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so now. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss future content designed to keep you feeling sharp and motivated. Let's talk about a common mental exercise that gets recommended all the time. Brain games like crosswords, Sudoku, or puzzle apps. But I'm here to challenge the standard approach and offer a twist on this idea. The popular belief is that all brain games are more or less the same. Any puzzle is beneficial. That's a misconception. The real trick is picking brain teaser games that force you to combine multiple skills at once, such as logic, short-term memory, and sometimes even motor skills. Here's the bold statement. Not all brain games are created equal. If you've been doing the same type of crossword puzzle for the last decade, your brain likely isn't getting the workout you think it is. For maximum benefit, you need novelty. Games that push you into unfamiliar territory so your brain has to adapt. Look at Sandra, 80, who was a longtime crossword enthusiast. She prided herself on completing the newspaper's daily puzzle in record time. But over the years, she noticed it wasn't as stimulating as it used to be. She was just going through the motions. That's when she discovered a puzzle app on her tablet that incorporated time limits, pattern recognition, and even quick mental math. The first time she tried it, she struggled. But within a few weeks, she noticed a marked improvement in how fast she could recall words and how easily she could adapt to new challenges. She even found that reading instructions for her new TV became less daunting. The difference was that this new game demanded more than one type of thinking, so her brain was building broader, stronger neural connections. The practical step is to regularly rotate through different puzzle types. One week, try a logic puzzle that involves shapes and spatial reasoning. The next, pick a word game that tests your vocabulary in ways you're not accustomed to. Then switch to a quick mental arithmetic challenge that forces you to do calculations under time pressure. The constant variety is what keeps the brain guessing and growing. The emotional benefit of this approach goes beyond simply staying sharp. It gives you daily mini wins that boost your self-esteem. It's like setting a small goal, finishing a puzzle you once thought impossible, and then celebrating that little victory. Over time, these wins build up, reminding you that growth and learning don't have an expiration date. Imagine waking up each morning genuinely excited to see which puzzle you'll tackle next. That sense of curiosity and accomplishment has a rejuvenating effect on your overall mindset. And now for the fourth way to keep your brain younger than your age: volunteer or mentorship programs. You might be thinking, how is volunteering or mentoring related to brain health? Here's the counterintuitive truth. When you guide others, teach a skill, or simply help out in a structured program, you engage your cognitive abilities in ways that are deeply stimulating. You have to plan, communicate, empathize, and sometimes even solve on-the-fly problems. Each of these tasks exercises different areas of your brain, keeping it active and adaptable. There's a misconception that seniors don't have much to offer in a fast-changing world. That's simply not true. Your life experience, wisdom, and patience are invaluable resources, especially to younger generations. The act of mentoring or volunteering also provides a strong sense of purpose, something that's been shown to ward off depression and cognitive decline. Take Harold, 69, who was initially hesitant to volunteer at a local high school's art club. He felt out of touch with modern teenage culture. But once he started helping students with drawing techniques, a skill he'd honed over decades, he found he had to explain his methods clearly, relate to the kids' interests, and adapt lessons to their varying skill levels. He was mentally juggling multiple tasks at once. The result? He felt more mentally alive. Harold noticed he was recalling details better at home, like where he put his keys or the names of new neighbors. Even more importantly, he felt that spark of purpose light up inside him again. If you want to dip your toes into volunteering or mentoring, look around your community for programs that match your talents or passions. Libraries, community centers, senior centers, and churches often have volunteer opportunities where your skills can shine. Or consider a pen pal program with students if you prefer to work from home. The key is consistent involvement, a few hours per week, so you can build meaningful relationships and keep those mental gears turning. Before I move on to our fifth and final point, let me pause to ask, if you're still with me, drop a 4 in the comments. It's a small but powerful way to let me know that you're engaged and ready for more. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time. Your subscription allows us to continue sharing these life-changing insights. Finally, let's talk about an activity that might not be on your radar at all: creative writing or storytelling. Many seniors assume they're not the writing type, or that writing is something only people with a particular literary bent should do. That's the misconception. The truth is that storytelling is deeply ingrained in all of us. We each have unique life experiences that can translate into rich narratives, whether fictional or based on real events. Here's the bold statement: creative writing can be like a fountain of youth for your mind, offering a space to explore emotions, memories, and imagination all at once. You might be surprised at how many different parts of your brain light up when you're crafting a story. You have to recall details, structure the plot, convey emotion, and pick the right words. All tasks that keep your cognitive faculties on high alert. Consider Miriam, 85, who'd never written anything more than a grocery list in her adult life. One day, her daughter encouraged her to jot down a few childhood memories. Miriam started slowly, describing her home growing up, the layout of the kitchen, the smell of her mother's cooking. She found herself recalling vivid details she thought she'd forgotten, like the color of her mother's apron and the exact tune of an old lullaby. As she continued writing, her memory sharpened. She felt more connected to her past. Friends and family noticed she was telling more stories and seemed more emotionally open. Soon, she was reading her short stories at a local senior writing circle, receiving enthusiastic feedback from others who were delighted by her recollections. The practical advice is to commit to writing at least a paragraph or two each day. You can keep a journal, scribble short stories, or even write letters to your future self. Set aside a small chunk of time, maybe in the morning with your cup of coffee or in the evening before bed, and let your thoughts flow. Don't worry about grammar or spelling at first. Focus on capturing memories, experiences, and even your dreams. Over time, you might refine your writing, share it with friends, or even self-publish a collection of stories for your family. The emotional reward here is immense. You gain clarity about your life's journey, experience a surge of self-discovery, and keep your brain working at peak capacity. By embracing creative writing, you feed your curiosity and keep your brain nimble. You'll find that words start to come more easily and your recollections become richer. It's a form of mental stretching, akin to how a dancer warms up their muscles before a performance. And it provides a lasting sense of achievement. You're leaving a legacy of stories, capturing moments in time that might otherwise fade away. That sense of contribution and creativity can invigorate your spirit like little else. Remember, these activities, social dancing, learning a new instrument, challenging puzzle games, volunteering or mentoring, and creative writing, aren't mere hobbies. They're powerful tools to keep your mind flexible, sharp, and full of potential. The best part is that each one offers an opportunity to connect with others or with your own inner creative spark. You don't have to settle for a life of mental decline or boredom. You have the power to steer your brain in a youthful direction. As we wind down our time together, take a moment to reflect on these 5 activities. Picture a version of yourself a few months from now, someone who has the confidence to pick up a new hobby, the courage to walk into a dance class for the first time, or the focus to master a new puzzle. Maybe you're heading off to volunteer at a local community event, or you're reading a passage from your newly finished short story to a group of friends. How different does that feel compared to the version of you who might be sitting at home, worrying about losing mental sharpness? One of the most important things you can do right now is to choose one activity from these 5 and commit to it. Make that first phone call or sign up for that first class. Set a specific time in your schedule to practice or participate. By taking a concrete step, you're turning possibility into reality. And let's face it, once you see how invigorating it feels to stretch your mental boundaries, you'll naturally want to explore the others as well. If you found yourself thinking, yes, the volunteering idea is for me, or I've always wanted to try dancing, share that in the comments below. Declaring your intention makes it more likely you'll follow through. And I'd love to hear your stories. Did you choose to dust off that old guitar in the attic? Did you decide to finally give writing a shot? Did you sign up for a local puzzle group or set a weekly dance meetup with a friend? Your journey can inspire others who are on the fence. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. By doing so, you're showing support not just for this channel, but for a whole community of seniors who refuse to let age define what they can or cannot do. It's a powerful statement to say, I'm still learning, still growing, and still open to new possibilities. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope I've helped you see that keeping your brain younger than your age is not about magical potions or impossible feats. It's about staying curious, staying engaged, and challenging yourself in ways that are both joyful and meaningful. The road to better cognitive health is paved with discovery, laughter, even the occasional misstep on the dance floor. But every step, every note, every puzzle, every volunteer hour, and every line you write is proof that your mind is alive and kicking. Remember, the power to change lies within you, no matter what number you see on your birthday cake. You have so much to offer this world, and so many adventures still waiting. Embrace them, and when you do, you'll find that your age becomes just a number, and your mind remains a vibrant, ever-evolving force. Thank you again, and until next time, keep shining. I can't wait to hear all about the new paths you'll explore.